All right, fine. I'll be a gracious host. How you doing?
Little Mermaid is the scariest Disney movie by far, though.
Why the hell is Ace Blade in your Kickstarter?
Some comics. I'm getting controversial today. We're gonna get controversial today with.
My proudest moment is this interview and being able to talk to you two.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics in collaboration with Fourth Wall Production brings to you the 54th episode of the Four Tales podcast. I'm your host, Kyrun Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the vivacious scripter of Ace Blade, Danny J. Quick. And together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. Please stop dancing, damn it. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and a host of other programs. So if you are listening or watching us live, thank you for your support because you get to see Danny do the robot right now. And all your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a bigger and brighter audience. God, that was horrendous, man.
My only goal during the intro is to mess you up. My only goal is to mess you up during the intro of this show. So
you do a great job, but why? Why?
It's more fun that way for the people who are watching live on YouTube or wherever you're watching. It's just more fun that way. So there we go. How you been doing, brother? It's good to see you.
I'm all right, man. Look, we got Fish is excited. He's on the show. Apparently, he is excited to see Travis Gibb because Fish is never on our show today. Kyrun has a thesaurus open today. I do not, Javon. Actually, part of my preparation every week is to go and find other ways to say the words purple and writer for every of these episodes. I literally do that before every episode. So I use a thesaurus.com.
Usually comes out pretty good.
Sean says your dance is going to make Kyrun cry. This is true. And not because it's great, but it's just sad.
Mission accomplished. All right, that's all I got to say.
All right. So what's up, man? How you been?
I've been doing good, man. Doing all right. I heard, so I got some exciting news. They're going to reprint Static #1 with the poly bags that they that they printed them in when they first started. I have an original in bag Static #1. That's my Grail comic that I recently got. So I will be getting the reprint so I can open it and flip through it and look through it.
Now, when we say Static #1, are we talking about the relaunch that just happened a couple of years ago, or the original back from the 90s?
The original back in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
If I had it close enough to me, I would grab it for you. But yeah, I've recently got one from Acme Comics in Greensboro. They're one of their managers, the owner of the shop. Actually, he knows I love the Milestone books, and he said that, hey, I got one in for you. It was a little pricey, but I was like, hey, I need it. That's one of them comic books that I needed, so I got it.
All right. So I think it was you that asked me this question because I did give me your top 5 whatever, and I'll answer it. I think it was yesterday. You asked me what is my top 5 favorite black superheroes?
Your top 5 black
electric superheroes,
electric themed superheroes.
All right. And I came up,
yeah.
And I give you my list. So I guess I want to know now, what are your top 5 favorite black electric? That is a mouthful. Top 5 black electric superheroes.
I think my list will be similar to yours. Okay. Storm is going to be #1.
Of course.
Static #2.
Mm-hmm.
I would put Miles right there.
I had him at 3.
Yeah, you had Spider-Man on your list.
Yeah.
I don't think Black Lightning would make my list, but
why do you hate black people so much?
4 and 5 is tough. I don't know. I'll think about it during the show.
Okay. All right. Well, if anybody wants to know, my full list was Storm, Static, Spider-Man, Black Lightning, and Black Vulcan. And I know people are like, Black Lightning and Black Vulcan are the same character, and no, they're not. So don't even try it.
Not technically, they're not.
Whoa, I don't speak Spanish. Do you?
Let me see.
Is that Namor?
Namor. Hey, we appreciate you.
Uh,
That was a little racist. I don't know, Kyron.
all right, that was bad. That was my bad. My bad.
Hey,
How the hell does Black Lightning not make your list, Danny? Again, Danny always has this.
I was not. I told you I did not read comics growing up as a kid. Black Lightning was out of print by the time I started reading comics. I didn't learn about Black Lightning until the TV show came out. So,
Miss Fish asked, "Who's the old guy from Stat Cartoon Soul Power?" Yes, his name was Soul Power.
Soul Power, yeah.
All right,
that's back in the day too. Good grief.
Oh man, Static Shock was such a good show. It really was.
It really was. Me and my son just recently did a rewatch.
You know, it would be considered woke today, right?
Absolutely would.
All right. Anyways, enough reminiscing. What?
Richie's dad being a full-blown racist, and
God, the episode was.
It was tough, bro. It was tough.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So we are here today. You just bringing up nostalgia, dude. Just nostalgia hitting me.
Hilarious.
We are here today to talk to a writer. And when I say he's a writer, he's written like, God, at least 30 books, it seems like. I mean, I want to say he's a publisher because he's also put together a book that you and I worked on called Cthulhu Invades Oz.
Award-winning.
Yes, our award-winning Cthulhu Invades Oz. But he's an amazing person. He is just doing great work, and I don't know what else to say, so I'm just going to bring him on now. Travis Gibb is on the show. There we go.
What does it say about me that you guys' background has your art or something to do with you? And I'm like, no, Magneto, yo. Like, what does that say?
Magneto. Well, you're a big fan of Magneto, though. I've seen you post about Magneto on several occasions.
Yeah, we'll so we got the shrine, right? There we go. We got the shrine right there.
Okay.
We don't mess. We don't play.
Yeah, that's legit right there. You got the pops. You got the statues.
That's more than just the statues.
We don't play.
He got the black suit. He got the multiple suits and everything.
Yeah. I've got the same statue twice with the white and the black. Yep.
So now I got to know: do you have the tattoo of Magneto anywhere?
I don't. I want one.
That much love for Magneto is unsettling.
Javon is right though. That much love for Magneto got me thinking a little bit now. What resonates with you with Magneto so much? I don't know.
Wait, Dan, you have nothing to complain about because it's the same obsession with you and Purple. So
Purple has never tried to kill the human race though. Like
fair enough.
So my thing about Magneto that I always relate to is I've always felt my whole life like I have tried to do something and done it the wrong way, right? Like my intentions were pure, but I just do it in this asinine way, not murderish way, but like I really relate to that. Like the idea of, hey, we can't coexist. We just need to be separated, live our own lives and kind of focus. Like I got that as you know, I got that like feeling that you don't belong and that you need to, you know, find people like your crew and like we can do our own thing. Like that resonated with me as a child. I don't know. Now it doesn't resonate when I think about it speaking out loud, but the doing something, I don't know. I just like him. Leave him alone.
hey, like what you like.
I've had on my top 5, I did a top 5 villains list, and Magneto always makes my top 5 villains list because Magneto is just one of the dopest design characters. Like his themes are consistent. He's one of those villains. Like I was talking to Daniel Calvin about this because Magneto is you know, he said that he doesn't think Magneto should be the only representation of Jewish superheroes out here. And I was like, do you really consider? I mean, I know he's been considered a villain, but some people don't consider Magneto a villain. They really believe, the things that he says. So, and you can kind of get behind that. But we'll talk about all that later.
Yeah. Well,
So
I was going to ask you something that we don't know about you. So I guess since you already gotten that out the way, Travis, I want to get into more controversial things. Just start up with things that I've read about you. And I do want to know why you hate purple.
Well, hey, purple.
Yeah.
Did you not see my Magneto shrine? There is so much purple in there.
There's so much purple.
So much purple. So much purple. No, I like purple. I mean, I prefer orange, but I love purple.
Okay. All right. That explains the orange cone theme. Okay. All right.
That was going to be my question. And thank you for segueing into that, Kyrun. But your company, Orange Cone Productions, like I said, I've read a few of your books. Excuse me.
Bless you.
From your company, and I wondered, what is the origins of Orange Cone Productions? Like, why is it called that? And where's it come from?
So orange cone for me, what it means is stop and pay attention, right? An orange cone, you see it, it means either be wary of what we're building, could be bad, or it could be traffic, could be a disaster, could be we're building a amazing, amusement park, could be many things. So that's when I made up that name, it was kind of that representation, like, hey, I want you to stop and pay attention. This could be a disaster. It could be we building the next mega thing. I don't know, but you need to stop and pay attention. Pay attention to orange cone.
I like it. I like that a lot. I wish more people would put more thought into the names of their shows and companies. Like our Four Tales podcast, we literally just threw together my company, Fourth Wall Productions, and Taurus Comics. The Taurus has the tails, and it was like Four Tales. Okay, we're gonna make that work. But I'm sure we could have. I'm sure we could have put more thought into it. But
I asked you for suggestions, and you were like, "Yeah, whatever, Kyrie. Just do whatever, man. I just want to talk." And I was like, "All right, fine."
Pretty much.
Well, and Kyron doesn't have 4 ideas. You stick with Ace Blade pretty thing, but Kyron's like, I got this new one. Let's go.
You joke, but I already introduced a new character for Danny to write a comic for. I gave him 2 actually characters, and
Kyrun is actually drawing a book that you just don't know. I got so many ideas in the Google Drive. It's ridiculous. But yes, I try to stay consistent, try to stay on brand with the purple and Ace Blade. But yeah. So what projects have you been working on lately?
Oh my goodness, it's insane. Coins of Judas, we just did 1 and 2. That's a Band of Bards comic that's coming out. It's in Diamond right now. You can order 1 and 2. So that's a book about basically when the 30 pieces of silver paid for Judas, they produced 30 demons that are the worst things you could buy with money. So each coin represents the worst thing that you can come down and demons associated with it. And these are demon hunters that are trying to hunt them down. So this is my first non-Kickstarter book, which is super exciting for me, right? All my stuff prior was Kickstarter first. So that's really exciting. We've got the old hats, we got Voodoo Nations, we've got Expired, we got Cthulhu Invades Neverland, and of course we have Holiday Spirits. It's live right now on Kickstarter, Holiday Spirits 2, which you guys were supposed to be in.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Let's call you guys out.
No, you can just call me out. That's all on me. Danny gave me a script. Just so everybody could see. I had started it, showing the picture of Holiday Spirits to cover for it right now, just so anybody wants to know. But Danny gave me a script from an idea that I had, and I was ready to do this, and just too many things happened in my life at that time. Had my wife's grandfather passed away. We had lost our dog. My grandmother died. Like, this is all in the span of like 3 months. So I was like, dude, I can't deal with nothing right now. But yeah, I was excited for Holiday Spirits. I really was, because this is not the first time you've done Holiday Spirits, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is the second one, and hopefully you guys can finish that and be in the third one, because we are going to do one next year as well. It's going to be an annual that we do every year. But yeah, this is the second volume, and we try to get some of the up-and-coming talent to be part of it and produce spooky tales. We do the traditional orange cone spin, where when you get it, there's a beginning, middle, and end. There's not, it's not just an anthology with a bunch of stuff thrown together. It's actually written that way. And it's a lot of fun to put together. I actually just read volume 1 again the other day, and so because around Thanksgiving, we'll talk about it a little bit. My mom died the day before Thanksgiving. She had back surgery, and she had an ulcer that burst in her chest, and she couldn't feel it because she was on painkillers because of the back surgery. So by the time they got her there, the ulcer had bled into her and she passed away. And earlier that year, I had gathered a whole bunch of people and I was talking and like kind of celebrating, talking about how pure Thanksgiving is, right? Unlike other holidays, you got to buy a gift, you got to do this, it's all about just spending time with people you care about. That's the core of it, is just eating and doing. And then it made me like hate Thanksgiving. And I wrote this foreword to Holiday Spirits about how, these tragedies can happen where we change our views on holidays. And you can think about it. Yes, I'm using an extreme example with my mom, but there's people who've got divorces, right? When they had that first Christmas without him, and all these things. It's so crazy that these things can turn to horror really quick. And I think it really speaks and resonates. That's why you have stuff like Red Xmas and all sorts of horror, Gremlins, all these horror stories set around the Christmas time because of things like that.
Yeah, it does seem like Christmas has a lot of horrific things. Like there's a new movie coming out with I can't remember the guy's name, but he's from Stranger Things. He plays the cop in Stranger Things. Basically, he's Santa Claus. He's in this movie. He's playing Santa Claus, but he has to save the family from being robbed. And like, it's not the first time we've seen Christmas being used in a more violent manner than what most people think it to be.
I mean, even Tim Allen, he killed Santa to become him.
He did. That's
right.
True.
We like to play and pretend that the only way you become Santa is you just murder the Santa. That's messed up.
That's hilarious and messed up at the same time, for sure.
Is that to become the master, you have to beat the master?
Right.
One. Is Santa Highlander? Is that what it is? There can only be one?
That would explain why Santa Claus has been around for so long.
He's just
up here killing everybody.
He's so powerful. Somebody trained up to beat him, and now he takes over the mantle.
All right, we just got a second story for Holiday Spirits next year.
Yeah.
How Santa Claus came to be.
I like this. Santa Claus is in the Santa Claus movie is in the Highlander universe. I like this. I like this theory. It's good.
Santa McCloud to the Clan McCloud.
Santa Claus was the only one. He beat right after number 1. He went after Christopher Lambert. Connor killed him. Santa Claus.
Wow. Oh man,
I love it.
Fish says he loves the 4th of July. Then I got sober, and it wasn't really nearly as fun. Okay.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I understand that, but yeah, like you were saying, holidays can be kind of bittersweet as you get older, it's sometimes you just gotta try to see the positives and see the things that you're thankful for, and appreciate the family that you have, and I think that's the best way to do it.
I agree.
Do that all the time, dude. It feels like you're leading up to something, and then you're just like, bam, I'm done.
You should know by now, Kyrun. When I stop talking, just start. Just jump in.
Is Fish concerned about being sober because now he's afraid when he lights a firework and realizes that it could actually kill him? And before he was just like, woo!
Like, light these babies up. Wait a minute, this is dangerous. Should we be doing this?
All right. Well, I do want to go back to Coins of Judas because that actually seems like a very cool story. What is the long-term goal for Coins of Judas? Because I saw you already have 2 issues that's coming out on Diamond, right?
Yeah. So it's a weird origin story. So they had Band of Bards put out an all call for an anthology called Tales from the Static, and I submitted to that. And weirdly enough, they declined it. They were like, "No, this is not good. But we want to make it its own series." I'm like, "What are you talking about? You can't decline me and give me my own series. That's messed up."
Like, no, we like it, but we like it better here. That's what we want to do with it.
Right. So we agreed and we figured it out. And it was weird for Tyler too, because I was working with Tyler Carpenter and I had, told him, hey, we're going to do 8 pages. Hey, do you want to do a full story? So then we agreed to do 2 stories, got it taken care of. So yeah, we've been killing it, and we produced 2 issues. We're completely done with the 2 issues. We got to do a little bit of coloring for issue 2, but we're done with that. So it's part 1 and 2 that'll come out in Diamond. In March or April, we're going to come up with a Kickstarter that'll be a four of it. So it'll be 4 stories to make a thick trade, and then we'll do 3 and 4 in Diamond in like June and July, and then August we'll deliver for everybody for the trade paperbacks, which should be really fun.
I know for a lot of us as independent creators, a lot of our goals is to get into Diamond. How was that, at least approaching Bards and saying, hey, I want to do this book? I know you said they want to turn it into an ongoing series, but how did that interaction go where you're like, this is going to get into Diamond someday? Like, what was that sensation or that feeling?
It was wild, because like you and you're in Diamond within Archer Press, that's what I assumed the route would be. I'd produce something. Same thing with Granite State Punk. I make something, and then someone's like, "Hey, I'll on it. We'll get some more money for it." Kind of the way us Kickstarter creators. We do as much as we can. Someone will put their label on it, and then they'll get the share of the money, even though you do all the work. That's just the way it works. So it was really interesting to get, someone go, I want you to do the series. We want to, Band of Bards paid me for the series. Like it's a paid gig. They paid us to make it. Nice. And that they believed in us and thought that this series had legs and that we could do some stuff. And that's wild. And it's so hard, guys. Like Diamond, I craved Diamond for so long. And now that I'm kind of here, it's so exhausting. Kickstarter's way better, like, because you can just be done. When I'm done, I'm going to go on Kickstarter. Whenever I feel I'm ready, I'm just going to launch my Kickstarter. Diamond doesn't work like that. They don't play. They're just like, here's your deadline for submissions. Here's your deadlines for orders. Here's your deadlines for covers and art and all these extra things. So I'm constantly doing that and then calling stores and saying, hey, do you want to pick up a copy from a publisher you don't know, from a creator you don't know? And trying to sell your work. It's a lot of work, but it's super fun. And I'm super excited to have my first Diamond work be original, right? It's original content that hasn't been shared with any audience yet. And I think that that's a beautiful thing. And I'm excited that Band of Bards gave me that opportunity.
Absolutely. It is a beautiful thing. And I think we always have a conversation about, kind of what is an indie creator, what is an independent creator, and, what kind of separates you from being independent. And I think my main argument is that distribution part is a big part of it because of everything that you just said. Like when you get into Diamond, it's not just okay, we're in previews, so now let's the money's going to roll in. Now there's people who have to market these books, and if the audience doesn't know about it, then the stores aren't going to buy them. If the stores don't buy them, then they don't, you don't get paid to do more and more books, so it's it is, like you said, it's a lot of work to reach out to stores that may or may not have ever heard of you, or store, like it's a lot better. I would imagine it's a lot easier if you got Spider-Man or if you got Batman,
Sure.
and you got a Batman series coming out, people are always going to want to read Batman. But like you said, if it's a new series, if it's an indie title like Ace Blade, or if it was Saw the Lightning Wielder or something, and we got our own communities of people, that's why we do well on Kickstarter. But it's not the same as introducing it to the small communities within communities, and that's a lot of work. Absolutely. Or Hotshot. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's we pretend Kickstarter's an even playing field. I know it doesn't feel that way when we look at like our peers who are making like 40,000 and we're like, we 5. It doesn't feel like it's a community. But if you compare that to like the logo of an Image logo or a Band of Bards, right? Which is going to sell more? Like Image is guaranteed most stores will get 3 or 4 copies because it has that Image logo, and then what does that look like from down to Scout and Boom and IDW and like laying all those things out and building all those things out. It's a completely different element versus Kickstarter. We're all on the same level. Yes, we may have different fan bases because we figured that out, but we're all in the same we all are fighting for the same dollar from the same people versus the Image. Because if they chose not to order it, they chose not to order it because of they don't like the brand or the company or all the stuff that comes with it. So it's crazy, like with all the variables that you got to factor in just to make that book.
Yeah. And that's that next level of work that you have to get to kind of make it. I want to say in the actual industry, and it's hard because, like you said, man, it's just it's just the extra work that you don't know that you have to do until you have to do it. So there's always a learning process, and there's always another level to get to, and that's a good thing, but it's also it can be a thing that kind of gets people out of comics. You just want to make good books and you want to tell good stories, but there's a lot of other stuff that comes with it that you just might not be comfortable with, or you might not be willing to learn and grow with. And I'm thankful for people like you and Kyrun and Michael Watson who are willing to do the work and teach us small creators, and share the knowledge and stuff like that. So I appreciate you for that, bro.
Thank you.
Now, one of the things I was fascinated with when I was going over your history is that you said that you've been making comics for 19 years.
Yeah.
19 years?
I'm old.
Well, okay, we're all old. I mean, okay, so I got to ask, what was the first book that you published 19 years ago?
It was the backup story for a book called Government Bodies. So it's a black and white indie book from a company called Across the Pond. I was in issue 3, and I did a 5-page short in it based in their universe, which was a lot of fun. I met him at a comic convention, told him my passion to be a director in film, and told him I had an interest in comics. And he said, "Hey, if you write me and if you get it all put together, I'll publish it." And I was like, "Hell's yeah!" So I did. I wrote the 5 and called a friend in high school. "Hey, can you draw this?" And we got it. And actually, I'm very proud of that work. The artist, his name is Josh Belanger. He does a lot of covers for Image and stuff. He's a tattoo artist in New Hampshire. But I was so lucky to have like top tier art, because some people, when I look at their original work, they're just like, please don't look at it. Because I tried to draw it myself. I only did stick figures. But no, I'm really proud of that work. I think the story is pretty solid for 5 pages. I have an edge for people. I mean, in high school, I was writing scripts and like sending them to editors and getting feedback. And so I have been doing this my whole life, writing. I've wanted to write and create my whole life. I wanted to do film originally, but I've been doing this my whole life and trying to figure out how to master storytelling.
Now, in this almost 2-decade run of comics, what's the best advice that you can give anybody that wants to maybe produce their own book?
Just do it. I know that sounds really sad, but like just finish it. Like I see. I
don't know if we can say just do it. I think Nike sues us every time we say that.
No, Nike's fighting with Kanye now. We're fine. They don't even pay attention. It's fine.
They got bigger fish to fry. They'll be just fine.
They got bigger problems. They got lots of problems. But I think that so many people, and you guys are probably the same way, where we have. I could name 5 creators right now who have books that are done, and they're just so scared to pull that trigger to like launch it, right?
Yeah.
They're like, I just need that one more cover. I need to ink it, or I need to color it, or I need to do this. Just do it, get it out there and make sure you do right. I mean, I know that sounds really crazy, but that's the key thing. And the other thing is ask. Like, if you want to just create something, don't be afraid to ask a friend who may have an anthology or a story like, hey, I'd like to do a backup for your story. The hotshot, I know Mug Watson did. He did so much for the community. I just was like, hey, let me write a story for you. I didn't think that story would be anything, but he was like, oh, I'm going to make it an issue. And we're going to make it issue 14, and let me create a character for you. Like, don't be afraid to ask your friends and peers who are doing this to help contribute. I think any of us would be like, all right, I can give you 4 pages, but here's the criteria, here's the stuff. We can make these things work. And I think we want to help people get to that next level.
And when Travis says, don't be afraid to ask, he's truly honest about that, because he asks me almost every month to write a Solid Lightning Wielder story.
I have.
And I literally mean like almost every month. All right, Fish says, just make comics. Yes, your first few will suck. It's okay. All your first books sucked. You get better over time. Very true. Very true.
Can we talk about, though, Hot Shots getting a new artist? Because I saw that announcement. Like, what's that about? That's bullshit.
I think you have to actually listen to Most Epic Talks, which is right after our show, in about 30 minutes, because I don't know. I'm not part of FSK yet, so I don't know the details. Danny, do you?
It's probably because I wrote something. He's like, I'm not drawing Travis's shit. Like, I'm not doing that. And he's just like, he's like, we're getting to issue 14, and I need to make sure that does not happen.
All right, Michael Watson's in the chat. He says, I need help. Nope, not at all. I'm wearing too many hats. See? He just wants more issues.
Listen, we all understand that, and that's why one of the reasons that I will never ever draw an Ace Blade comic. It will never happen. That book would take so long to come out, bruh. I would never ever.
Okay, we all know that is a lie, which is why this is all why Danny has been practicing with Wally almost every week to sharpen the skills. Because about 2 years from now, you're going to see at the very least an 8-page Ace Blade story written, drawn, and colored, lettered by Danny J. Quick.
I would have to start it right now to get those 8 pages done in 2 years. I promise you. But anyway, so I had a question about your Judas book and the 30 pieces of silver. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I saw a TikTok last night, and this is where all my bad stories start. I saw a TikTok last night where a young woman, she was reading some things in the Bible, and she was like, oh, there's a connection between 30 pieces of silver and the 30 shekels of silver that they used to, you could sell a slave for 30. If you sacrificed a slave for 30, you could pay for 30 shekels of silver to redeem that, that slave, and how, Judas then was paid 30 shekels of silver to betray Jesus, and then he was sacrificed for our sins. I don't know if you're a religious person, but is that
this is all over my head at this point.
Did you have you looked into that, or is that anything that you may have thought about when coming up with the story?
I didn't think about that particular, but I was aware of that particular pastor. I actually am a pastor, believe it or not. I don't talk about it very often. I'm a marketplace minister, meaning I help businesses see that Jesus is involved in it. Like, that's what I do. I'm not like I don't preach in front of like tons of people on the regular on a Sunday, but I do that. There is a connection. There is foreshadowing in that of like sin and being bought for sin, and that like people and betrayed. There is a foreshadowing on that. But I didn't put that because that's way darker than I want. That's way darker than my demons is going into that stuff, Mm-hmm. But I do think what's interesting about the 30 pieces of silver specifically. So when you talk about Jewish culture, what's really interesting is they were so wrapped up in like the minutiae of everything, of being holy. So they would take money in and they would sanctify the money. So they would lay it out and they would sanctify it, put it in holy water, pray over it before they spent it, because it needs to be holy money. However, to pay Judas, they would have had to unsanctify that money, which is the wildest, coolest thing. I haven't found any like how they would do it, but that is the coolest thing in the world. So we talk about that a lot in the book, is how to unsanctify money. So this is money is not holy. We've taken it in, and now so
that's wild to think of, and like you said, and the themes of just the ramifications of that, like, is ridiculous. Like, they would, the fact that they would unsanctify money to pay to
bad things.
like okay. I don't even want to go there. But yeah, definitely, and I'm definitely interested in the title. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna reach out to my local comic book store now and see if I can get it. Do you have any variant covers or anything like that, or?
So we do. So there's a cover A and a cover B. So Stan Yak did cover B. So everybody loves Stan Yak. And there's a cover A by Tyler. So you could get those. Those are the two main covers. And then if you order 20 copies, which I know you're made of money. You just got that static in the bag. So, I mean, you got cash. So if you get 20 copies, there's a foil version where the coins are all foil. So, and just like the static, it's going to be worth it. Just CGC them all, get it going.
Just slap them all.
But there's also 10 store exclusives too that we've done. I just did a video that I put out on social media last night of 8 of them. So the store exclusives, a whole bunch of people have invested in store exclusives, and we have people from Witchwood All to Carl Moline, the guy who created Frey for Buffy, the Buffy universe. All sorts of really cool people doing variants.
I might see about this 20-1. If my store gets one, I'll have it. I need to.
Well, one of the things I'll tell you, if you have a store, if you're watching this and you have a store that you think would be interested, I will help them sell it. So I will go on a YouTube channel like this. I will do whatever I can with that store to help them sell it. I don't want anybody stuck with any books of mine. I want to help you sell.
Where are you in the world right now? Like, where do you live?
Florida.
If you live in Florida, okay. I was going to say, there's a store that they invite creators all the time for books. So if you get up to North Carolina, I'm sure they would be happy to have you. Shoot, we don't do traditional retail here in our store, but I would be happy to have you too. But I'm gonna reach out to Acme Comics in Greensboro and see if we can, because for me selfishly, I want that 20-1 cover. I want that. I want those 20 pieces of silver. I want that 30 pieces of silver. So yeah.
And it's Stan Yak. It's Stan Yak. It's Stan Yak cover foil. Like, it's killing it.
I'm sending it over to him right now.
All right. Well, we got a couple more minutes before we're going to do Danny's quick takes, but I got a question, sort of off subject. We are looking at your website, scrolling across the bottom, travisgibb.substack.com. So what can people get if they go onto your website?
So on Substack, there's 2 versions. There's a free version and a paid version. If you're on the free version, I basically, talk about things that are coming out. I show you guys exclusive stuff. We have a Substack cover. So every Kickstarter that I do has a Substack cover. And if you're a paid member, you get that for free. If you're not, you can buy it, but you're only going to see that cover art by being on the Substack. So you're never going to get that anywhere. The other version of free is you get things early. Like I have already sent them Coins of Judas, No Contest, and Granite State Punk 2 before anybody else has seen it. They've already seen it. They've already been able to read it. We're also making a comic together. We're going to be making a comic together. So I ask questions to the paid members, and they get to decide decisions on the comic, and like major decisions, like will we Kickstarter it? What artists are we going to hire? All the things that to make the comic, we partner with my Substack people to do it. So we have a good time. We have a great community over there. And I'm doing so many Kickstarters. I mean, I did 6 this year. I have somehow 8 next year. I don't know how I'm going to pull it off. And that's not counting the 4 issues of Coins of Judas, the Hot Shots issue, and all the other little things that I have coming out too. So to keep up with me, you got to go to the Substack and be able to learn all the crazy stuff that I'm doing.
I love
this. This is why I need to stop drawing. I can only do 1 to 2 Kickstarters a year because I'm drawing so many other things. I can't focus on this. So,
or
what do you want to say?
You could just draw fast.
Nope, not possible. Not possible at all at this point. Not possible at all.
Not even possible. So
I gotta know from Kyrun, what's next? Is it the Sean book, or do you have more Saw? What's next? I need to know.
I got the book for Danny, and then after that, I am scheduled to draw a book for Joseph Duas. Another superhero sees things, I think it is, and then Sean and I are gonna do I Drive for Server Part 2.
Okay.
And that's what I'll have scheduled for next year.
So he didn't say Saw, so I'm uninterested.
Well, okay, wait. I thought we were talking about just what I'm drawing. Okay, if you're talking about everything, okay. So then, yes, Saw issue 4 is actually already in the works. Dino Agor is actually already started doing some pages for that. I know that's what everybody cares about. I get it.
You say other things, but
It's like saw the lightning wielder. Oh, I get it.
But
and then I have a Starcore issue 2 in the works already. Again, saw the lightning wielder.
I like Starcore. Starcore is cool. You know, he's purple. He's got that purple stuff. So, my last question.
I like Saw. I like Saw a lot.
My last question, Trav, before we go into quick takes. So are you full-time comics? Do you do comic books full-time, writing, editing, all that good stuff, or you have a daytime job too?
So I own a web design company. I have neglected it because I've been doing comics, but I own a web design company, so I do that. I keep, I've been doing it for a long time, so I have a portfolio of clients, so I manage them as well as do comics, but it's mostly comics. It's probably 80% comics, 20% web design, even though web design pays way more than comics, just for the record. If anybody's trying to figure out business management.
I'm with you on that. So we just opened an escape room here in the studio, and the escape room definitely makes more money than the comics are. Like, just in 4 months, it's really outlandish how but thankfully, we incorporated our so Ace Blade is in the escape room, so you learn about the characters in the escape room, and then when you come out, I can try to save some books. But just the escape room itself, I don't even it's embarrassing how how out of balance it is. But yeah, hopefully, we can all do comics and stories full time eventually. Kyrun, are you ready for quick takes?
I am, but hold on. Be really quick with that. And I need to go to North Carolina and see this whole thing. But it would be
you
really
can just watch
cool.
Danny's TikToks live. He broadcasts everybody that's in the escape room.
No, I do not. I've only done it twice.
I'll never go on TikTok because I'm over 40. I'm not allowed. It's in the rules.
Okay, wait. You joke, but I'm actually finding a lot of creators are going on TikTok now to find new audiences. I follow Steve Rude on TikTok, and he's a great follow if you're just interested in artwork. So it could be good.
Yeah, I've been meaning to.
Scotty Young is on there. Scotty Young is on there, man. Come on now.
He is not young anymore.
Young. He's allowed there. Young. It's in the name. But no, I think you should have a time challenge. If you can finish it in 30 minutes, you have an exclusive Ace Blade comic book that you could only get by beating it at a certain number. So people have to fly out to you to get this one-shot comic book that you have to beat the escape room in a certain amount of time.
I like it. We do have, so anybody who anybody who wins the room automatically gets Ace Blade number 1. But I like that. If you can beat it in less than 35 minutes or something like that, you get an exclusive comic. I'm gonna use that. Thank you.
I mean, you can give them a Kyrun Silva drawn exclusive variant cover if you want. I'm just saying.
I sold out of those. I don't have any left. I don't have any.
Okay. I sold out of mine too, actually.
Get some more printed. So yeah. But all right. So it is now time for my favorite part of the show. And most of our guests' least favorite part of the show, quick takes. Oh, fish!
It looks like you're being held hostage in that image.
I love it. Okay, so if you've not seen the show before, Quick Takes is a rapid fire Q&A session where I ask our guests questions that I thought were interesting from stalking their social media. So I just looked around your photos and your social media, and I was like, I got some questions. So if you're ready, we'll start with question number 1, and you only have 45 seconds, and you have to answer off the top of your head. Okay. Question number 1. As an adult, okay, what are 5 things that you think are as fun as a child going to a trampoline park?
Throwing axes. We love throwing axes.
Love it.
I like karaoke. A good karaoke is all good for adults. You got theme parks are great. Wrestling events are also good. Anytime that you can yell, I think is very, very important. And then arcades, man. Arcades are never going out of style. I don't care what people say.
They're bringing them back. They're bringing arcades
Bring
back,
them
man.
back.
Yeah. We just got one open in our town here, and me and my son went, and we had a blast, man. We had a blast. And I agree with you on the throwing axes. Me and my wife went on a date doing that during the summer, and it was way more fun than I thought it would be. Especially when you can drink a little bit, drink a little bit.
Yeah.
You got a little, yeah. We had a good time. We had a good time. Okay, great answers. Great answers. Okay, number 2, and I'm sure you've gotten this question before, and I wish there was a way that we could make this into a book because I know it would sell. With your Cthulhu series, I'm sure people have asked you things like this before, but I want to know who would win, Cthulhu or Godzilla, and why.
Cthulhu. Cthulhu is a god. Godzilla's just a dragon, and he'll make him crazy. So, and Godzilla is supposedly saving Japan, but the rumor are that Godzilla is a good guy. If you make him bad, like the government's going to be against him, and eventually they'll take him down. They do at the end of every movie, anyways. So.
Yeah. There we go. Cthulhu for the win. Like I said, I know that if there was a way to put that into a comic book or a movie, that thing will make extreme amounts of money. But all right, cool. So, question number 3. You got a lot of stories. You got a lot of characters that you've created. You got a lot of intellectual property. So one thing that I want to know, if you had to sell or get rid of every property that you have, and you can't, oversee them or write or create for them anymore, but you only got to keep one to work on for the rest of your life, which one would you keep and why?
It would be Granite State Punk.
I knew you were
That
gonna say
book,
that.
when I
I
wrote
knew
it,
it.
yeah, when I wrote it, it just became extremely personal to me. The smart move would be Cthulhu because I make more money with that. But Granite State Punk is just it's so important and so special and intimate to me. To think of somebody else writing that book that's the only one that I wouldn't let somebody else write. All the other books, like if someone's had a good idea, I'd let them write, but I couldn't do it just because of it.
I love it. I love that answer. I think it's better when the material is personal to you. It's a more fulfilling. Like you said, the money is good, but if you can do something that's fulfilling to you and still make money, that's absolutely the way to go. Okay. So this question number 4 always gives some interesting answers, and I'm kind of always shocked when I hear people's reasoning. So I'll just ask it like this: when you do comic book conventions, do you prefer big shows? Do you prefer big cons or small shows, and why?
I prefer big shows. I like one of the things that I like about big shows is I like the different. And it's not because I necessarily sell better or anything like that. I like to see things that I think are unsellable, and like guys just kill it. Like that's my marketing genius behind me. I'm just like, how does that guy selling that? How is it selling more than my thing? Like, what do I need to do to increase? And those things impress me. The other thing is the community of the big cons of getting that person from North Carolina, using you as an example, coming to me and go, oh man, I back your Kickstarter and I love your book. I've always been wanting to meet you, like this and that, or you were on this podcast. You don't get those at small shows because small shows tend to be just local, like people right near. So those are why I like the bigger cons, is you get to do that, and you get to meet with people who inspire you, who do cons and shows, who are coming down to make some green, at these bigger shows, and you get to meet them and be inspired by them and tell them how much you appreciate them and talk shop and eat and all that.
Absolutely. There are definitely advantages to big cons. I always caution new creators to think that they might immediately make a lot of money just because it's a big show. Usually your expenses are higher with bigger shows.
Sure.
And you can get more intimate with people at smaller shows. That they both have their pros and cons, but I got to meet Daryl Banks, during the during the summer, and I wouldn't be able to do that at a small show. And he signed he signed a cover that he did for us, and that's an experience that I definitely wouldn't get at a local show. So absolutely, I'm with you. Okay, last but not least, I always ask our guests to give us a top 5 list. Well, this would be your second 5 list, but I want you to rank your top 5 mobile games, 5 to 1. Off the top of your head, top 5 mobile games.
So I do Strike Force. That's the Marvel Strike Force. That's number 1 for me right now.
Okay.
I'm really liking Snap, so that would be number 2.
Marvel Snap.
I know I should be going backwards 5 up, but Snap is so good. I like Hearthstone. I don't play it a lot, but I like Hearthstone. I think it's a good alternative to Magic when you're doing mobile games. Trying to think what else I play. Words with Friends, even though I don't play it, I don't think I do like that it exists. That people can do stuff like that. And then number 5, the one I probably play the least is the new Diablo one. I like it. It just seems weird playing Diablo in this little space, but I like it.
Okay. It is very confining playing in that little section.
Right.
I played them like it doesn't give that same feel as you would playing on a computer or on a PlayStation with it.
Right.
Solid.
Which sucks because the graphic of the story is really good, but you're Fantastic. Just like,
Man, I love it. Amazing list. Thank you so much for doing that for us. I think we learned a little bit about you, and next time we have you on, I'm gonna have some deeper, more philosophical questions for you. Now that I know you're a pastor, we're gonna make
Now we got play.
There we go.
Before we actually close quick takes, I do want to share something from one of our listeners right now, Dan Bethel. We were talking about Godzilla versus Cthulhu. He actually shared this picture that he drew years ago. Nice. And for anybody that's listening, it's Cthulhu and Godzilla. They're destroying a city with the term "best friends forever," and it's a cute little drawing. I like it, dude. I like it.
High fives. I love it.
I am concerned about what Godzilla is doing with his other hand behind the building, but
we don't talk about that. All right, we don't need to talk about that.
Somebody is getting messed up right now. Some building is getting messed up in a new way. But yeah.
I just wanted to share. He said he drew this years ago, so apparently, yeah, you're right. People have been thinking about this for a while.
Yeah. I love it.
Well, you could do King Kong. King Kong is public domain, so you could do Kong, but you can't do Godzilla.
Yeah, I think King Kong would get destroyed though.
Yeah, I don't think Kong has a chance at all.
No,
he'd be too busy grabbing women.
Damn that! In today's day and age, that sounds really bad. Honestly, you say it like that.
It's what he does, man. He's just like, "Hey, blonde women, where you at?" And he grabs them and he brings them up on towers. I don't understand why he does it. That's what he does.
Let me find me a young white woman. I need to.
Right. King Kong was the original. Where are the white women at? Like King Kong was the original.
It's like it's in his legacy now. You can't erase that from King Kong.
God, this ended bad. This whole show ended bad. It started bad apparently with me being racist, ended with you guys being sexist. I don't know what's going on.
Listen, that's not us. That's on Kong and his writers. We just know what we watch.
All right, we only got a couple minutes because Most Epic's going to be coming along pretty soon. So, Travis, I know we got your website up right now, but where else can we maybe check out your work, get your books, things like that?
You can go to orangeconeproductions.com if you want to buy any of the books. We have an online store that we sell all that stuff, but really Substack is the best way to find me. Check out Holiday Spirits if you haven't checked it out yet. We are still not at funding goals, so we still got a little bit to go. We need about 1,500 left to go. We only got 9 days to do it. So if you guys want to help out that would be great. It's a great book. A lot of great creators. We got Brian Hawkins. We've got David Galliano. We've got Stony Williams. We've got some really, really cool people doing some awesome stuff. So definitely check it out if you have a chance. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. And Danny, where can people check out your work?
If you want to find me or Ace Blade, the best place to go is fourthwallpros.com, which is our website. Or you can find Ace Blade, King Supreme, and Lumberjacks for now. And then also, if you want to find me on
what do you mean for
also,
now?
if you want to find me on social media.
Whoa, don't just glaze over that. What do you mean for now?
Also, if you want to find me on social media, at the Ace Blade, on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter.
Sounds like something brewing over there for now.
Twitter for now, and then everywhere else. Kyrun, where can people find you?
I guess for now you can find me at tauruscomics.com. You can also find me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Tumblr at Taurus Comics. And if this is your first time checking out our podcast, you can go to fourtailspodcast.com, listen to any of our past episodes. If you want to financially support us, you can buy some merch, give us a coffee, whatever you want. But check out all our episodes there, available for free at basically every podcast platform. But Travis, thank you for joining us this week. Next week, we have Danny's favorite person, the snack god, Lonzo Starr, back on the show. And this is it penultimate? I think it might be. No, I'm thinking after this one, after next week, I think we only have one more episode for the season, man. And then we're done.
Yeah.
I think I have to go back and check. But join us next time. Have some fun. Please take care of yourselves. Sayonara, goodbye. And stay on, because in a couple minutes you're gonna have Most Epic Talks on the Agents of Geekdom platform. So, stay. Have fun.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.